When you need advice, come to Ben and Kelly. It's group therapy on 99.7 DJX.
So in its simplest form, if you want the opinion of our listeners, you can shoot us a message at Ben and Kelly Show, and we'll just toss it out and see what people who don't really have any sort of stake in your situation have to say.
Yeah, and if you give us your phone number, we'll call you.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm going to keep you anonymous, but hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, so thanks so much for allowing us to talk to you about your situation. Will you go ahead and explain everything that's happening?
Sure. Well, me and my wife, we've been together for a while, but we're going through a rough patch. And during this time, she's been pouring herself more and more into her career.
Mm-hmm.
And, the other night she goes out for drinks with her boss, and she wound up kissing him. And she says she feels terrible about it, and I believe her.
So she admitted that to you?
Yeah, she admitted that to me. It was
okay.
really hard. Well, it wasn't that hard for her to admit to me because she just told me. But, the thing is that she feels bad, but she doesn't feel bad enough to leave her job, which to me, I think she needs to do. She says she's making too much money. She doesn't want to start over again with a new company, wasting 10 years of experience. And if she doesn't quit, she's choosing her career over me. And then at that point, aren't we likely over?
Oh, man. You're like, hey, you got to leave this job if you're making out with your boss. And she's like, no, I can't. I make too much money. And
to me, that's not excusable, man. I mean, to me, I don't know, man. It feels like, she's choosing her career and she's choosing her boss that she just kissed, a night out of drinks over me.
And kind of throwing everything that you guys have created away. Okay.
Away, yeah. And I don't know, to me, I'm leaning more towards the fact that our relationship just might be over, but it's crazy. Yeah,
so we've got a bunch of people already texting and chiming in. So if you want to hang out, and we'll see if we can at least help guide you or help figure something out for you.
Sure.
But, can you keep us posted on your situation?
Oh, yeah, of course, man. Definitely.
All right, thank you.
Kristen said, if I were her and truly felt awful about the kiss, I would want to quit. I don't do awkward situations first off, and that would be cringe to be with my boss again. I also know 100% that if my husband kissed any of his coworkers, I would want him to never see them again. Now, I don't think doing anything rash immediately is smart. Don't quit immediately, but start job hunting. It's easier to find a job when you have a job.
Man, I'm so conflicted over this because I feel like by her telling him, it's almost as if she understands that she did something wrong, is trying to, I guess, I don't know, he was saying they were going through a rough patch.
Yeah.
But like, it didn't sound like she was saying it like, well, I kissed my boss. It was almost like hey, I want to let you know that this happened.
Full transparency.
Right. So to me, I'm like, man, I don't know if I would immediately throw it away because divorce is just messy,
Well, yeah. Heather's saying the same thing. The fact she didn't hide it and chose to tell you means she does love you and is willing to do what it takes to work it out. Now, depending on what age she is, 10 years in a company is a long time. Mm-hmm. 25 years at a lot of companies, you can retire with a nice package. I wouldn't want to start all over again either. But if my marriage was on the line, there would be changes for sure. Therapy is a good first step.
Yeah. Let us know if you've been in this situation and how you dealt with it, because I feel like this would be important in how, maybe our listener handles this situation. So 502-571-99. Group therapy. So he is afraid that his wife, who went out, got a little tipsy, made out with her boss, she's worked at the same place for a long time, makes good money, is choosing her career, because after that happened, he's like, you got to leave the job over him, and is now worried, like, what do I do with this, you know?
Yeah. Now, Patricia, she's kind of like giving some tough love. She says, grow up. No, she shouldn't quit. Go to counseling. See why you think one kiss should cause a divorce. Jeez.
Okay.
Told you, tough love.
Yeah. So, Dallas, you kind of have been in this situation, maybe kind of just gone through it.
So the reason why I've kind of been in a situation like that. I'm actually in a situation kind of like that now. But the reason why she's like, yeah, you know, I kissed my boss, and you know, that to me just went straight through me, because here's what she's doing, and I think she's a little bit smarter than what everybody has given her credit for.
Okay.
She's actually holding that door open.
Like,
because
what do you mean?
She's not woman enough to break it off. Because if you went home to tell your wife, hey, I kissed my boss, that's a wrap. That's done.
So it's almost like she's giving him the opportunity to break it off with her.
Absolutely. Because she can't do that herself for whatever reason.
Okay. I didn't think about that. Thanks for the perspective.
You're very welcome.
Hey, Roy. So what's your thought?
Well, I was in a similar situation. My wife and I both had a good job, same company, but we were located separately, so we were kind of doing a long-distance thing, and we were married. This gentleman is married too, right?
Yeah.
Well, very similarly, she hooked up with her boss. And the thing is, I could have gotten over that, but she prioritized her job and her occupation over our relationship. And so what I would tell our friend is, this might have been a blessing in disguise, because there are going to be even more critical matters than this, such as having kids and raising them cooperatively. So my wife and I, we just made a clean break. And I know this is very out of the ordinary, but we kind of hit the reset button, and now we're still good friends again. And this is many years ago, too. But when it came down, for me personally, the single biggest issue is just like, if we're not getting along about things like this, and it is important,
right,
what's it going to be like when we start butting heads when we both have kids together?
Gotcha.
So that would be the single biggest thing. The blessing in disguise, maybe it's good to have discovered this before you have kids. Even though you're already married, there has to be some critical decision-making taking place. So I hope that guy, I hope everything works out for him. But if you wanted Roy's, what would you do? I would start maneuvering myself backwards out of that relationship, even though we're married, because this isn't good. It really boils down to, like I said, priority.
All right. Thank you, Roy.
It's a really good point. And Courtney kind of said, I wouldn't be with someone who kisses her boss while married. That's disrespectful. And by kissing her boss, she potentially already messed up her career. So many places are hiring. If she's really good at what she does, I'm sure there's a market for her. If she wants to save the marriage, she would put your marriage first by finding a new job in her field.
So Alexa brings up a point, like, why couldn't she go to HR, and maybe she's not quitting her job, but like say, hey, I need to be separated or work in a different department than my boss, because most companies have that whole, you can't fraternize with, your employees sort of thing.
That's a good compromise, I think.
But
if she just kind of makes sure that she's not going to be interacting with that boss anymore, then maybe, they can fix both of these areas. I don't know. I think professional counseling should enter the picture.
Yeah, and I see there are a lot of people who are like, divorce.
Oh yeah.
And I'm
just jump right to that.
I'm kind of like, well, let's not jump there just yet. And I kind of agree with our earlier caller that maybe she is opening up the door and like saying, well, I did this, you gonna leave me now, type of thing.
Right.
But
which is why I think counseling can get to the bottom of that. What's the root of that kiss?
All right. Well, if you couldn't get through or you want to comment, you can. We leave the thread up on the Facebook page at Ben and Kelly Show. And so you can kind of leave your comment there as well. But hopefully, he can follow back up with us, or we can follow back up with him, in a little while and see how everything goes. With group therapy.